Have you ever started something with so much excitement, only to give up halfway? Maybe it was a brand new workout routine, a side hustle, or even something as simple as reading a book. At the beginning, you were all in. You bought the gym membership, you made the schedule, you told your friends. For the first week, maybe even 2, you felt unstoppable. And then something happened. You got busy, you got tired. The novelty wore off. Suddenly skipping just one day felt easier. Then one day became 2. 2 became a week. And eventually, you quit. Sound familiar? It's not just you. This cycle happens to almost everyone. And most people believe the secret to breaking it is sheer discipline, endless willpower. They think the only way to succeed is to grind harder, push more, force themselves through the pain. But that's only half the story. The truth is this: the real secret to staying consistent isn't discipline alone. It's learning how to see the hidden gifts life gives you along the way. And once you start noticing those gifts, quitting no longer feels natural. In fact, it becomes harder to quit than to keep going. Chapter 1: Personal Story. My podcast journey. Let me take you back a few years. I started my own podcast. Now, when most people imagine podcasts, they picture sponsors, ad revenue, maybe even fame. But for me, there was none of that. In fact, I was losing money. I paid for hosting, software, microphones, sound editing tools. Every single week, I squeezed out time to record, edit, and publish, often late at night after work, when I was already exhausted. And in the beginning, almost nobody listened. 200 plays, maybe 300 if I was lucky. That's it, for weeks, for months. Do you know how discouraging that feels, to put hours of your heart and soul into something, and almost nobody cares? Honestly, quitting would have been the easiest thing in the world. But then, something surprising happened. Out of nowhere, people began to leave comments. I'll never forget one in particular. I listen to your podcast every morning while I run. It's the only thing that gets me through my 25-minute jog. Another person said, "Because of your words, I don't feel alone anymore." Those comments, they were treasures. They weren't money, they weren't fame, but they were proof. Proof that what I was doing mattered to someone. That connection, that impact, that was the first gift I ever saw from my podcast. And when you receive a gift like that, something shifts. You start to realize it's not about how many listens you get. It's not about how much money you make. It's about the impact. And that impact becomes fuel. That gift makes you want to keep going, even when no one else is watching. Chapter 2: Turning Point. The Power of Hidden Rewards. Here's the thing. In life, we're taught to chase big, obvious rewards: money, promotions, recognition. But the hidden rewards are just as important. Sometimes, even more powerful. For me, it was those heartfelt comments from listeners. For you, it might look different. Maybe you've tried working out. At first, you hated it. Every push-up, every mile, miserable. But then you notice something. You're climbing stairs without getting out of breath. That's a gift. Or maybe you've started writing online. Nobody's reading at first. But one stranger writes to you, "This helped me." That's a gift. These hidden rewards don't show up on your paycheck. They don't appear in your bank account, but they matter. They keep your heart invested. They remind you that progress is happening, even if the numbers don't show it yet. And here's the beautiful part. Once you learn to notice those gifts, your brain starts to crave them. You start looking for them everywhere. You begin to enjoy the process, instead of just the finish line. Chapter 3: Lesson: Why we quit. So why do most people quit? It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they're weak. It's because they don't notice the gifts. They only see what's missing. Think about it. A YouTuber might get 100 views and think, "That's nothing." But let me ask you this. Imagine standing in front of a room of 100 people, all listening to you. That's not nothing. That's huge. If you don't respect those 100, you'll never get to 1000. I call this the gift mindset. when you train yourself to notice the small wins, the hidden blessings, the unexpected benefits. You unlock endless motivation. You stop obsessing over what you don't have and start appreciating what you already do. And that shift, it changes everything. Chapter 4. Reflection. Applying this to life. So let me ask you, what gifts has your journey already given you? Maybe your job isn't perfect. Maybe you don't love it, but it puts food on the table. That's a gift. Maybe you're working on a side hustle, it hasn't made money yet, but you've learned how to edit videos, how to build a website, how to talk to people online. That's a gift. I remember when I sold my very first product years ago. Each sale was tiny, sometimes just 10 or 20 bucks, but every single order meant dinner that night. Every sale felt like winning the lottery. I couldn't stop smiling. And that gratitude, that sense of receiving a gift, kept me pushing forward. Think about your own life. Maybe you're studying a new skill like coding or design. The gift isn't just the job you'll get later. The gift is every new thing you've learned along the way. Maybe you're trying to lose weight. The gift isn't only the number on the scale. It's the extra energy you feel, the better sleep you get, the confidence you gain. The gifts don't have to be big. They just have to be real. And once you recognize them, you'll realize you're not just chasing a finish line. You're already winning along the way. Chapter 5. Dealing with negativity. Now, let's be honest. Life isn't only sunshine. Just like YouTube comments sometimes, you'll face negativity, criticism, even hate. I remember reading my first truly hateful comment. It was cruel, cold, almost inhuman. For a moment I thought, why am I doing this? Maybe I should stop. But then I remembered, for every cruel comment, there were 10 heartfelt ones. For every ounce of negativity, there were people whose lives were made better because I kept going. That shift, focusing on the gifts instead of the poison, made me resilient. Negativity is inevitable. People will always have opinions, but your choice is simple. Do you give their words the power to stop you, or do you let the gifts you've already received remind you why you started? So, the next time you feel like quitting, pause. Don't just push harder. Stop and ask yourself, what hidden gifts has this journey already given me? Because when you start to see those gifts, quitting becomes almost impossible. Gratitude fuels perseverance. Perseverance creates success. Remember, every comment matters. Every small win matters. Every step forward is a gift. And maybe, just maybe, one day you'll look back and realize those hidden gifts were the very reason you never gave up. So if this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it today. Because sometimes, the gift we give others is exactly the gift they need to keep going.